This is JT, and today I'm going to be teaching you the second progression in your front lever progression tree. This is going to be the hanging leg raise. The hanging leg raises are one of my favorite movements. They'll stick with you, and they internally even scale with you for a long time to build serious core strength and serious strength along the entire anterior chain, or the front of the body. Now, like I talked about repeatedly, this type of training, this type of strength training is very cerebral. It's not meathead training, it's not just physical. So there's a few things you need to be aware of when you perform this. And the first thing and the most important thing is you need to be in an active hang. Active versus passive refers to, in an active hang, you're not going to be just hanging from the bar with shoulders elevated. You are going to pull the scapula down, pulling the ears up over the head, up over the shoulders, and keeping tension throughout the shoulder girdle. And the main reason you're going to do that is that this is going to be the introduction really to straight arm strength. This is the first movement where you're going to be building strength through your straight arms while the body rotates. Okay, so when you are in a passive hang like this, you can swing your body down at the joint, but you cannot generate strength to move the body. And for a front lever, that's exactly what we're going to be scaling to over time, is keeping the arms straight, actively engaged shoulders, and so the body will be coming up at the shoulder. You may never get all the way to a front lever, and that's perfectly fine, because the progressions that we're going to be doing are still going to build the strength and still going to stimulate hypertrophy in the serratus, in the pecs, in the triceps, in all these muscles that a front lever will develop, whether or not you ever get to the front lever. So keep in mind, we want an active hang. And if you need more information on active and passive hangs, go check out the first video in the pull-up progression series, because that's what we worked on in that first video for pull-ups, was getting an active hang and then scapular pulls, or pulling in that active hang up and down. So that practice will help you with this. Now I'm gonna go over and demonstrate this for you, so let's get to it. So for the hanging leg raise, it's primarily going to be a core movement, especially initially. But like I mentioned, we're going to be engaging the scapula, the shoulders. We're going to be in an active hang. So this is also going to building shoulder strength, shoulder stability. It's also, as you start to bring your knees up higher, this is gonna start building strength in the serratus, and it's going to also bring some pec in and tricep. Because this is the most basic element of straight arm strength. And this is one of the ways that you'll see gymnasts building quite impressive biceps and triceps without direct work, without curls and things like that. So this is where we're gonna start seeing that come into play. You're going to basically reach straight up, and you're going to start out in a passive hang. So gravity's just elongating the body. You see my little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt, which is the hollow body, right? Then what you're going to do is you're going to pull up into an active hang. So the ears come up, the scapula come down. From here, you're simply going to slowly raise the knees. So parallel would be the first step to the ground and back down, okay? Nice and slow and controlled. We're not doing this, okay? We're not fast reps. Nice and slow and controlled, parallel to the ground. When that becomes too easy, you're going to pull the knees higher. Nice, slow, and controlled. Now, that doesn't look difficult, but engaging the scapula and slowly bringing up the knees, we have complete full body tension. Even just coming to parallel nice and slow, not very many reps is going to really start to toast your core. And as you bring the knees up even higher, it's going to do that to a higher degree. So if you can get 5 nice slow reps, that's actually good. If you can get 10, that's really good. So one of the key things mentally, and you've probably heard me say this, with the slow and controlled reps, you are going to wear yourself out in a lower rep range, but it's that time under tension, the total amount of time the muscle was doing the work, that's important. Now, this movement, I mentioned it being very key or foundational. You can scale this one movement past just knees bent parallel and knees bent higher than parallel. You can also straighten the legs, okay? before you straighten the legs actually. So this is gonna be knees up. Then from here, you can bring the feet out a little with knees still bent, and that increases the difficulty. Now from there, you can go straight leg. So you can straight leg to parallel. You can also straight leg past parallel. And each one of those modifications is going to shift more of your body weight out away from the body, which then means that the core, and of course the shoulders, the triceps, everything is having to stabilize the body to move more weight through the range of motion pushed further out from the body. So there's multiple ways to scale this one movement toward a pretty advanced difficulty. So this should stick with you for a while. This one movement should provide the stimulus for strength development and hypertrophy in your training for the whole anterior chain and the core for quite some time. So don't be in a hurry to scale past this. We'll get into what comes next, and you can move toward that when you feel ready and give it a shot. But don't be in a hurry to move on from this progression, because this is going to build a ton of strength from literally your hands, from grip strength, forearms, it's triceps, serratus, pecs. It's going to core the entire front of your body all the way down, hip flexors. This is going to work all of that. So spend some time with this one, get really proficient at it. It's going to be hard to do it slow at first, but get to where you can do those reps nice and slow, squeeze at the top. This is going to wear you out. This is going to make you strong. If you've got questions or comments, put them in below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can.